Welcome to the Business of Style podcast with me, your host, Louisa Gabriel. I'm a personal stylist and image strategist who grew a successful six-figure business, and now I'm educating and empowering other personal stylists and image professionals just like you to do the same. So please keep listening to hear the lessons I've learned and the strategies I've used along the way that are guaranteed to take your personal styling career from side hustle to six figures too. How many of you have a Pinterest account that you started years and years ago because it was the thing to do? It's what everyone else was doing. But now it's kind of unused and is gathering virtual dust. I'm sat here, I'm putting my hands up. I'm sure many of you out there are putting your hands up too. Well, today that's all going to change because we are going to dust off those Pinterest boards and those pins, and we're actually going to reactivate them and bring them back to life and actually put them to use, because you know what? Pinterest is actually a powerhouse when it comes to promoting your personal styling business and driving traffic to your website and finding new clients. So I'm going to tell you all about it on today's episode, and we're going to talk about Pinterest. So let's dive in. To start with, let's talk about why. Why is Pinterest such a good tool? Why should you be using it in your personal styling business? After all, you might be under the impression that it is some kind of online vision board, or maybe you just use Pinterest when you want new recipes, or you're planning a party and you're looking for ideas. And many of us did use it that way when it first came out and never really thought about it as a good tool for business, but it really is a good tool. In fact, it's a great tool for your business. Pinterest operates as a visual search engine, and this really makes it unique compared to any other social media platform out there. It's a hybrid platform, best of two worlds together. Those worlds are social media and search engine. So think of it this way. If Google and Instagram had a baby, it would be called Pinterest, mixing the social media and the search engine together. Why is this such a great tool for personal stylists? High traffic and engagement. Pinterest has over 450 million monthly active users who are highly engaged, okay? Music to my ears, active users, highly engaged. And unlike other platforms where the content is fleeting, if you post it, if somebody hasn't seen it within a certain number of hours, there's very little chance of them actually ever seeing that content. Pins actually have a much longer lifespan, and they can continue to drive traffic for months and months after you've posted it. It definitely has an evergreen approach when it comes to the content. So you can create something, you can post it, and in 3-4 months time, people are going to still be seeing it, and it's still going to be a tool to generate traffic to your website. Another good thing about Pinterest and why it's great for your business is it's full of intent-driven users. Okay, now what I mean by this is that people use Pinterest with a purpose. When they go to Pinterest, they're looking for inspiration, for ideas, maybe specific services. And because they are there with that purpose, it means that they're more likely to be engaging with the content that is relevant to what they are looking for. And this makes them prime candidates for conversion, turning them into paying clients. Now, you may say, well, on social media, a lot of people go there with intent, but not to the extent that they do on Pinterest. A lot of users on other social media platforms scrolling to pass time, scrolling because they're bored. For me, it's usually because I'm procrastinating about something that I have to do that I really don't want to do. And I'll just scroll and scroll for hours away. There's no intent behind what I'm doing. And that is the case for a lot of people. Some people just go on because it's connection with other people. So it is very different why people will go on Pinterest compared to going on a TikTok or going on Instagram. And intent driven users are really great candidates for conversion into paying clients. Another great reason to be on Pinterest is its search engine capabilities. Now, I already mentioned that it's the love child of Google and Instagram. But Pinterest functions similarly to a search engine. So a search engine such as Google or Bing, where users search for specific picks or products. And by using keyword and SEO strategies, your pins can be discovered by users that are actively searching for styling advice or inspiration. So it works in a very similar manner. So if you went to Google because you wanted advice on how to dress for an apple body shape, you would type that into the Google search bar. Pinterest runs in exactly the same way, and it's going to generate all the different pins that will mention the keywords apple body shape or dressing for an apple body shape. So those search engine capabilities means that you can use keywords and you can use a strategy, an SEO strategy, to actually get your content in front of the right people. That's not really something you can do to this extent on other social media platforms. It's very different to hashtags. Hashtags do, yes, give some idea, but not in the same capacity as using keywords with a search engine. Traffic generation, another great thing about Pinterest. Okay. Each pin that you post can include a direct link back to your website or back to your blog or wherever you want people to go. You know, we put those calls to action that we want people to take. Okay. We can actually give them a direct link on every pin that we post. So they get this direct path, and it's a direct path that significantly increases the traffic to your website and potentially having clients book with you. Social media platforms, there isn't that linking capability. When we post something on, say, Instagram, a regular post, we can't in the description, there's no link. We have to use the link in bio, and that's an extra step for people to take. And people don't always want to take extra steps. So they want that information at their fingertips. And by having these links on every pin, it makes it so much easier and can generate more direct traffic to your website. So those are some really incredible reasons for using Pinterest to help grow your business. It has such great capabilities that is really going to generate more traffic for you, get more eyes on your business. So it's kind of a no-brainer, right, to actually start using Pinterest, or at least think about it as one of your marketing tools. We have plenty of tools, and it's about figuring out which is the right one. But chances are you probably don't even have Pinterest right now in your basket. And if you don't, I've just given you several different reasons as to why it definitely needs to go into the basket and something that you need to think about using. So if you do decide to use Pinterest, How are we going to set it up? Let's dive into that a little bit too. Okay. You want to make sure, first of all, that you are using a business account for your Pinterest. So if you have an old account that was a personal account, you can convert that very easy. You can switch over to a business account. They do allow that, and it gives you the instructions on Pinterest on how to do that. The reason that it's really important to have a business account is because it gives you the analytics. It gives you insight into how well or how bad your pins are performing. And then you can actually start using that as a guide to the content you create. So you don't keep creating the same old content over and over again when it's not what people are really engaging with and liking. It's going to save you so much time. So if you don't have a business account on Instagram or anywhere else, you should really be switching them over and not using a personal account for your business so that you can have access to the full analytic and figuring out what content. Let that guide your content to save you time. There are also other tools within a business account that can be used, like being able to promote your pins and things, in online advertising. So whichever social media, not just Pinterest, you should definitely be on a business account. The next thing you want to do is you want to really optimize your profile. You all know that you need to have a good picture, whether it's your logo or whether it's of yourself. You want a clear and engaging bio, but you want to make sure on Pinterest that your bio is including relevant keywords. So it's got to have personal stylist in there. It's got to have image consultant in there. If you offer fashion tips, it's got to have fashion tips in there. If you have a specific niche, maybe you work with, you do corporate styling, make sure those keywords are in your bio. Remember, we're dealing with a search engine here, so it wants to know what your account is all about. And the way we tell the search engine what it's about is by including the relevant keywords. So always make sure that your bio is full of the right keywords. And of course, you want to add your website URL and you want to verify it through the process on Pinterest. You don't have to pay. It's not that kind of verifying, but what it enables is something called rich pins, which provides more information directly on your pins for the algorithm to read and the search engine to read. And then the next thing, you want to organize your boards. So start creating your boards, have very clear categories that are tied into what your potential clients are looking for. Remember, as with everything else and every other episode that I record, target clients are the center, right? You know this by now, and it doesn't stop here. You might think it's a small detail, creating a board for Pinterest, but it still has to be client centric. So we want to make sure that our boards are organized and have the right search titles that our potential clients might be using. So we know our clients are looking for outfit ideas for work, then we better have a board that is outfit ideas for work. Or if we know that our clients are obsessed with sustainable style and sustainable fashion, there needs to be a board that has that title too. So we've got our boards, right? Now, the next thing is creating effective pins. What exactly is a good pin for Pinterest? So quality of images is definitely a must. As with most social media, Pinterest is very visual. You want those high resolution images. You can also use video now. So any reels that you've created, any TikToks that you've created, you can actually repurpose and use them now on Pinterest, which is another great thing, but they need to be high quality videos too. Vertical images perform better on Pinterest. And apparently this is because they take up more space in a user's feed. Who knew? Who knew that this was something that was going to be important and help your pin perform better? So wherever you can, use a vertical image, avoid the horizontal ones, and that's going to help the reach of your pins on Pinterest. The next thing is, once again, compelling titles and descriptions. So make sure they're clear, make sure they're engaging, and of course, you know it, make sure you're including keywords. That's going to help your reach on Pinterest. Keep in your mind that this is not just social media, it is also a search engine. So you want to be writing anything, titles and descriptions, for both your target clients, what they might be searching for, and also the search algorithm. And as I've said before, keywords on your pins. Keywords are going to be important too. But another way to include keywords, believe it or not, is within your image. When you save an image to your computer, you probably give it some kind of title. Sometimes it's just photo 1, photo 2. Maybe you put a little bit of detail in it. But what you want to make sure that you do is, before you upload that image to Pinterest, is make sure that the file name includes keywords. This is a step that a lot of people forget to take, and it's a missed opportunity to tell the search engine algorithm what that specific image is about. So you give it the right title. If it's something about, if it's an infographic about creating a capsule wardrobe that you are posting, make sure that it's creating a capsule wardrobe JPEG. So, strategies for growth next, right? Because we have our boards, we have our pins. How do we grow on Pinterest? Well, as with anything, any social media platform, anything we do, consistency is going to be key. So, you've got to be pinning on a regular basis. Now, each platform does it differently. Some platforms want you to be posting multiple times a day. The aim for Pinterest is to do one pin daily, if possible. Okay. But consistency, as you know, is what's going to really keep your content in front of your audience. But don't forget to repurpose your content from the other platforms. This is really going to lessen your workload. And it is a good thing about Pinterest is you can very easily repurpose any content. So you can share your reels, you can share your stories, you can even connect your Instagram account to your Pinterest account and have it automatically send anything you post on Instagram automatically gets posted on Pinterest too. That saves you some work. If you need to resize your images and you have Canva has the function where you can resize the image. Makes it easier to switch up the content a little bit, but definitely repurpose the images and content that you are using on other platforms to really lessen your workload. And then, of course, you want to engage with your audience. Have your notifications on. People will leave you comments. People will ask you questions on your pin. Engage, build that relationship. As you know, we've talked about it before, building a relationship, building that connection. It's just as important on Pinterest as it is in Instagram. So definitely make sure that you are responsive and engage with your audience. Then the next thing for growth, I mentioned it a little bit earlier, is you want to utilize your analytics, utilize Pinterest analytics. Check it on a regular basis to understand what types of content is performing well. Use these insights to really refine your strategy and create more of what your audience is really connecting to and what they really love. And just keep giving them what they love. That goes the same with any platform. Okay. And then you can also something to consider is promoting your pins. Now, we often talk about creating organic content, organic reach, and absolutely is 100% important. But let's not forget that promoting and advertising is a great tool for increasing our reach and connecting with people who are most definitely interested in styling services. You can really be targeted when you do some form of paid advertising. And it doesn't have to cost a lot of money. You don't have to put a lot into it if it's something you can't afford. But what I'm saying is just don't rule it out, because it really is a very good targeted approach to enable you to grow. So that's Pinterest. Okay. That's really is Pinterest. Powerhouse of a tool, completely overlooked by many of us, me included. That's definitely going to be changing for sure. Before I wrap up, though, I wanted to give you a little bit of data to give you an insight into what the reach potentially is like. So I took a look at some very different accounts, very different in the amount of followers that they have. But so there is one called Style Bee, and this is a stylist called Lee Vosberg, who I believe is in Canada. And right now, Lee has almost 90,000 followers, and the Pinterest account has monthly views of 2.1 million. That's massive views. That's a massive reach. Now, I know you're probably saying, well, that's 90,000 followers. That's a lot. It's going to take me a while to get there. I've got some other examples for you too, slightly lower on the followers account. There is another one called The Image. You probably know her from Instagram. She is pretty big over there, and she has 7.3 thousand followers, and she gets 47,000 monthly views. Those are great views. That's 47,000 people are actually seeing her content. And if that seems a little out of your reach right now for your number of followers, I have another one, and this is Rachel Nicole, a personal stylist. She has 154 followers, and right now is generating around 11,000 views monthly. That's still really great amount of views for such a small account when it comes to followers. So you can see that Pinterest is really generates a lot of views, potential new clients. That's what you have to think of. Views mean potential new clients. I also took a look at the Style Academy Pinterest account because it's something that I started several years ago, and it's been gathering virtual dust over the past couple of years. I started it, got distracted by other things, pulled in different directions. You know how it goes. You probably did the same. And I really haven't put any time into developing it. And it's not really an active account. And it only has 105 followers right now. But guess what? Right now, it still generates 12,500 monthly views. Can you believe that? It's not active. Nothing new has been going on in there until last week, until we decided it's now going to be a good strategy of ours. But it was generating 12.5 monthly views with no new pins, just the pins and the information that we put there previously. That is evergreen marketing at work. That is Pinterest capabilities at work. 12,500 monthly views, and also some very important backlinks and all that traffic to our website too. So the numbers are definitely there. The numbers speak for themselves that Pinterest can really generate a lot of traffic. So if you're like me and you forgot all about Pinterest, It's really important to remember that it is such a powerful tool, and it can significantly benefit your personal styling business by driving the traffic, increasing your brand awareness, and attracting new clients. Now, maybe a good time to join me in dusting off the Pinterest boards and really start putting them to good use. So that's today's episode. I hope it was helpful, and I hope you're all going to dust off those Pinterest boards and start pinning and really start generating some really good, consistent traffic for your website. So thanks again for listening, and I will catch you next time. If you enjoyed today's episode of the Business of Style podcast, then don't forget to hit subscribe so you'll be notified when a new episode is available. And of course, if you're looking for additional training and resources to help you in your career as a personal stylist, then be sure to visit my website, styleacademyintl.com.